Hello and good evening all. Welcome to Taff's Word Live. Sunday the 18th of August 2019. We are 3 weeks into the real football season, 2 weeks into the Premier League season, which a lot of fanboys and glory hunters seem to think is the only football worth going on about. Obviously, whenever you get it, our league starts, League Two, League One, Championship, football's back, and then the Premier League fans are, oh, can't wait till football comes back next week. Is it? Well, sorry, it came back this week. Pay the fuck attention. But anyway, guys, who we got in there tonight? First one in, Matthew Marsden. How's it going, mate? I'm keeping quite well, actually, mate. How about you? Do the away fans use Rodney's bar? They absolutely do, yes, Colin. Nice to have met you yesterday as well, mate. Thanks for coming over to say hello. So keeping well. Obviously, really enjoyed the game yesterday. I thought it was a game of two halves, of course, but also want to talk about all of the football as well. I mean, Liverpool almost blew it, but Man City actually did. VAR absolutely destroyed them again against Tottenham at home. So we got Amber Army in. We got Colin. Well, obviously, we got Grant. Grant is the Plymouth fan who often comes to watch Newport County, who went in the away end yesterday, saying that he was going to win. And unlucky Grant, unlucky my friend George WBA. So you guys had a good win against Luton away, didn't you? Marcus is in, obviously Newport County fan, but also likes his Leeds. They had another win yesterday. Right then, Joseph Real, hail, hail. So, no guessing which team Joseph supports. Luke County, evening, Taff, evening, Luke. How's it going, mate? Hopefully the store went well for you. Need to send you a message later, by the way. Russ Page, evening, Taff. Cardiff looked terrible today. They absolutely did, yes. Colin Simmons, England now need 4 wickets and 7 overs. All right, is that for the Ashes? I haven't been keeping up the speed with that one. H is in. Hi, mate. Great result. Sheehan was my man of the match. Great atmosphere. Yeah, good shape. Good shape for man of the match there. Sheehan, I think he had a good game. Ryan is in. Ryan Russell Barber. I'm all good, mate. How are you? So Ryan, one of the Amber Talk team, who obviously had a really good day yesterday. If you've seen our videos, if you haven't seen them, definitely worth a good look. Michael Green was on his lonesome. But fair play to him. He done well. You reckon the West Ham game will sell out? I got a feeling it will, yes. George WB, Luton's home run comes to an end then. That's what happens when you play against good teams at home. I mean, think about it. Luton's home run through League Two and League One. They're going to get at the Championship. They're going to come unstuck at some point, Dimitri's going to be out for a bit. Yeah, it's a real shame. Absolutely adore Mickey. Got to be fair, I think he's a fantastic defender. Really good all-round footballer for us. It's just an absolute shame that he's had to go off with a long injury. But what I'm hearing is going to be around about 10 weeks. It might not be as bad as... Sorry, guys. Oh, I've been knackered today. I don't know why. But hopefully he'll come back soon. He'll come back as strong as ever. Reds TV, my expertise doing Amber yesterday. Doing Amber Talk yesterday. I'm guessing that Reds TV is Michael Green. How's it going, Mike? Grant Thurgood. Class atmosphere for both sets of fans. My voice is sore today, as mine is every weekend. Thoughts on Kieran Tierney, Taff? I think 25 mil got a great deal. Yeah, I've got to agree. I think fullbacks are playing a massive role in football today, especially at the top. And I think you've definitely got a very, very good left back in Kieran Tierney. I mean, Hector Bellerin, I rate on the right. Kieran Tierney on the left. You got some good fullbacks there. Just need to get yourself some centre backs now. Obviously, I know you've got David Luiz, but I still think you could do with another one or two. Luke County, with Mickey injured and rumours Flinney is after another striker, surely we'll need centre midfield. Was Bennett injured going off at half time? I don't know. I think Bennett going off was tactical. Oh god, I don't know where the yawning's coming from. Sorry, guys. Bennett going off was very much a tactical one. Tristan Abraham's coming on absolutely changed the game. It was a great tactical switch, of course, but I don't rate Bennett as well in defence as I do in midfield. I think we need to keep Bennett as a midfielder. We've got a lot of defenders at the club, So hopefully Mickey's absence won't be felt too bad, as as much as the likelihood of that is low. We'll have to wait and see, mate. But if he is going to bring another player in, it could well have to be a centre back potentially. But Marvel Petito haven't had a game yet. Maybe he could be in with the shade. So Josh Phillips, great result yesterday. Absolutely was. It was going to be always going to be a difficult game against Plymouth team that came and absolutely dominated the possession. But I'm going to ask a question regarding possession in football matches. I'm going to bring that on when it's my question time. Marcus me. No better way to spend a Sunday evening eating Indian takeaway and listening to Taff Live. I'll tell you what, do you want to switch places? Did you want to come and do Taff Live for me so I can eat your Indian takeaway? Oh, I could wolf a curry right now. Rest of you, I enjoyed my role during that yesterday. Yeah, well, you did well, mate. Well, fair play to you. Ollie Graham FC, hi. Hi, Ollie. How's it going, mate? Rest page, how many do you think will take the Warsaw Tuesday? I reckon about 600. Yeah, I'm thinking around about the same, to be honest with you. About 600 or so. Josh Labadie was my man of the match yesterday. Yeah, another great player who had a fantastic game for us. I also thought Haynes and McNamara played extremely well. I thought Tristan Abrahams could have a shade at being man of the match, even though we only played half the game. I mean, it was his substitution that changed it so dramatically. Byrie, what do you think? What time do you think I should queue for West Ham tickets in the general sale on Thursday? Will it be as busy as Tottenham? Oh, sorry guys, I don't know where this yawning's coming from. Early night for me, I think. Right then, so I think it probably won't be as busy as Tottenham and Man City. It's probably going to be similar to Leicester, to be honest with you. So I would maybe have a look at Leicester. Well, not look at Leicester, but look at, don't go down too early. I think anyone who wants a ticket will get one as long as they're a season ticket holder. But you're saying about the general sale, aren't you? So hopefully, well, they shouldn't all sell out because I think only season ticket holders this time can get more than one ticket, and they can only get two, and they can't even be guaranteed to be sitting next to them anyway, so they probably won't get two. So the chance of getting a ticket on general sale, I think, is very, very good. So if I was you, I wouldn't go down too early. Don't get yourself out of bed too early unless you don't mind waiting long enough. It's up to you, mate. I mean, are you working on Thursday? If you've got anything on that day? Sorry, I'm going to rabbit on about this. Sorry. Tonbridge Angels, la la. Oh, yeah, I remember you, Nay. The Tonbridge Angels guy. I haven't seen you in a while. How's it going? So 4 million for Charlie Austin. Is that West Brom have just bought Charlie Austin for 4 million? Fucking hell. That's a good. That's really, really good. Kieran, so Tierney is well worth over 25 million. Bit of a steal. I think so as well. I think that is value for money. I think he's a fantastic left back. See, local goalkeeper with a great assist. Yeah, well, at least he's still on the winning team. I like the Carl Haykins chant. It's really good. I'm not the biggest fan of it, if I'm being honest, but to be honest, took off, so I'll join in. Any chant that takes off, I'll join in, whether I like it or not. Luke Hainty, sorry Joseph, but how bad is Scottish football? Celtic out of Champions League, come on, going out to a Welsh pub team. Did killing Rangers ruin Scottish football? Now that's a bloody good question, and I personally think yes, it did. It was dying anyway. It was dying because money in the game was being directed towards the English League, where it wasn't being directed in any way at all to the Scottish League, which I think was a bit of an oversight because the potential in Scottish football is there for all to see, because some of the best footballers we've seen in the Premier League have been Scottish, and some of the best footballers we've seen in the English League full stop have been Scottish. I mean, you look at the likes of Graham Souness, Kenny Dalglish, I could go on all day with Scottish footballers who are absolutely out of this world, and Scottish managers as well. Scottish managers have been great down in England as well. So I think the money in the football through the Sky Sports deals and all the other deals across the world should have been pushed towards Scotland as well, because I think the Scottish League could have been a fantastic league if they were getting the funding. I mean, now they're too far behind to catch back up, but arguably Scottish teams quite often were better than English teams. Club teams, Celtic and Rangers, were quite often deemed better than the majority of the teams that were in the Premier League. back in the sort of earlier 90s and before that. You know, I think if, yeah, like I say, if the money had gone to Scotland as well as England, potentially the Scottish League could have been fantastic right now. But killing Rangers off the way that they did and having to make them start from the bottom has just slammed it right down. There's only one team in Scotland capable of winning the SPL at the moment, and it's a bit sad. And the likelihood is that could well be the way it always will be. It's a bit like Paris Saint-Germain and the French league now. But I'm going to come to that point later. Going to visit our friends over at Carl's Ice Jena tomorrow. So Ryan, I know you're out in Europe at the moment. So happy days, mate. Tell them all I said hi. Isn't Carl Haikins a West Brom player? Not anymore. He was. He is now a Newport County player on a 2-year contract, George. H, you heard there was trouble outside Barham after the game with Plymouth supporters. Don't think it was as much trouble. I think they were looking for it a little bit, the Plymouth lot who were there. But I think it was more of a police escort more than anything. So 27 of you in, only 6 likes. How about we get the thumbs up on the go? And then we got to start on Focus 10. But I've lost you guys, so I'm gonna have to skip some of these questions. I do apologise. Feel free to throw them in after Focus 10. Anyway, Focus 10 is back to VAR, and that's just all I've put. All I've put is back to VAR, Video Assistant Referees. So I'm going to give you my stance on it based on how it's worked so far in the Premier League and how it's worked from beforehand. I think VAR at first was going to present a couple of problems, I feel, but ultimately what it's there for is to improve the game. And the way it's improving the game is to make it fairer. Now, the game gets brought into disrepute when you get some kind of controversy, right? Controversy from poor refereeing decisions, to the point that you got Dermot Gallagher and all old referees on Sky all the time debating whether this questionable decision was or was not the right call. Every single weekend on just Premier League games, high profile ones as well. So for me, if it eliminates that, the controversy goes, because there shouldn't be any controversy around VAR, because the whole point of it is to bring the fair decision. Now, people are making controversy because Man City could have won the game yesterday in stoppage time, but the ball was edged onto Jesus with the hand of, I can't remember which player it was, but the player that went for the ball, I think it was Laporte actually, it hit his forearm right there and bounced it down to Jesus, who then took the ball and put it in the net. Now, if his arm wasn't there and his arm was out, hit his arm, bounced down onto Jesus, would that ball have got to Jesus and would Man City have scored if it didn't hit his arm? I don't think so. I don't think that's how it would have worked, because it bounced down from his arm into the path of Jesus. It probably would have floated past and bobbled away, and then they wouldn't have had the chance that they had. So for me, it brought on the correct decision, the same as the offside. I mean, at the end of the day, if you want to dispute the rules or whether you shouldn't really call that an offside, you shouldn't really call that handball, at the moment, the rule makers of the game are the ones who set those rules. So the video assistant referee is going off of the rules of the game. It is as pure and simple as that. The rules of the game are so, and they're unbreakable. VAR is there to make sure those rules are being correctly implemented, and the referees, and we've been dying to get them more. We've been dying to get them more help for a long time now, and they got that help, and now everyone's moaning about it. For me, it makes the games fair. So I want to hear your points. I mean, obviously we've talked about the challenge idea, The captain's getting 2 calls or the manager's getting 2 calls, and then if they're right, then they can, keep their challenges. If they're wrong, they lose them 2.5. I think that's how VAR could work. But to be honest with you, I think the whole point of it being a video assistant referee is that someone's watching the game and they're telling the referee in their ear that was or that wasn't. They got to iron out a few creases still. I've got to admit that they've got to iron out a few creases, but ultimately things like, who remembers Chelsea? Who remembers like Chelsea against Barcelona? For me, Chelsea would have made that Champions League final and probably would have won it that season if VAR had been around back then. The one with Didier Drogba was effing and blinding on the cameras and all that, saying that it was a fucking disgrace, which it was. It was a fucking disgrace. But would they have made that final if VAR had been around back then? I think so, because I think there's a few of those penalty calls that they would have got. They would have got those penalties, at least 2 of them, if they had VAR available to them. Someone would have been in that referee's ear telling them, "Oh mate, that's a penalty. Blow up, penalty." If they've had at least 2 of them, they would have stuck at least one of them away. They had Frank Lampard taking their penalties, for fuck's sake. Who remembers Ireland with the handball, Thierry Henry's handball? He handballed it, kicked it over, and they scored off it. If VAR had been around then, that would have been disallowed, just like the Man City one yesterday. And if anyone says, the argument one more time, this is going to really do my head in now, right? One more person comes back with the argument, oh, but you're robbing the fans' opportunity to celebrate a goal. It shouldn't be a goal in the first place. So if they're celebrating, doesn't matter. If it shouldn't be a goal, it shouldn't be a goal. And besides, how many times have you celebrated a goal to have a referee go and talk to the linesman and then chalk it off? How many times? So tell me how VAR makes that any different. It doesn't. It doesn't. And if the goal shouldn't stand, then it shouldn't have stood. It shouldn't stand. There's no argument there. If you're celebrating a goal and it shouldn't stand, it shouldn't stand. It's as simple as that. You shouldn't just say, oh, well, actually, we're going to, even though, this player did this wrong and this goal shouldn't stand, because the fans celebrated it, we're going to let the goal stand just because they celebrated it. It's a crap argument, I'm afraid. But anyway, let's catch up on what you guys are saying. So Boy was saying the Man City decision was harsh. I don't think the handball made that much of a difference in the play towards the goal. It came off his hand more, his arm. I've got to disagree with that. I think it bounces off his arm into Jesus' path. I think if it doesn't bounce off his arm, they wouldn't have scored a goal. Did you see Cardiff getting hiding earlier? I absolutely did. Joseph's with me on that one. Fair play. Mitchell Jenkins, I reckon Man City, you're getting too good for English football. They're 30 shots to 3 against Spurs. It's mental. There's no such thing as being too good. If you're too good, it's up to the competitors to get better. Luke Kane is running football. Why can't they just review it at the end of the game? Benefit of the doubt to strikers in the offside, unless. So basically, VAR isn't the thing that's ruining the game. It's the rules. So basically diving. I think for me, diving should be punished a lot more heavily to stamp it out of the game completely. I reckon there should be retrospective action, whether you fool the referee or not. If an attempt to dive should result in X amount of game ban and a big fine for not just the player but for the club as well. I believe the offside rule is poor. The offside rule needs changing, but at the moment VAR is implementing the rules in a more effective way. So Taff, can you read my old comment? I'll scroll back up now, my friend. I thought the female ref and assistant referees on Wednesday had a good game. Yeah, fair play. Just because you're a woman doesn't mean you can't referee a football match. Your comments on VAR 100% right, Taff. Thank you, Martin. Appreciate that. Luke Katie saying diving 5-game ban. Yes, 100%. I think League 2 playoff needs VAR. Any high-profile game like cup semi-finals, cup finals, cup games in general, if it's got the right stadium, I think VAR needs introducing to high-profile games outside of the Premier League, not just at the top. So Amber Army wanted me to go back and read one of his old. Amber Army, all right. So there's over 20 copper cars yesterday. There's a lot of trouble outside Bar Amber. I think it was the Plymouth fans going there to try and pick a fight personally. If you think of how many people, how many nutters go into Bar Amber, they got into the wrong frigging place because they'd have got themselves a good bloody hiding. But there we go. Byrie, can I get tickets from parents if I queue on my own in the general sale, or do they have to queue as well? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it will work if you're queuing on your own. On general sale, there shouldn't really be a restriction on how many tickets you can get. Well, there should be, but then it shouldn't be to the point you can't get them for your parents. It might be worth calling the club in the week, to be honest with you. Right then, Luke Canty, but it's not fair to have VAR at all. Professional level success. We're going down to non-league, missing playoff place. Well, yeah, I think it should be all or nothing. I agree with that. Every football match is important to someone. It doesn't matter whether it's worth a lot of money. I mean, it's worth a lot of money to clubs in that division, of course. So for me, I really hope that VAR is available everywhere in the very near future. So Amber Army's got to go. I'll see you later. I think that's the first time anyone has ever said they're going and cheerio. So fair play, Amber Army. Nice one. James Edwards, we can beat West Hamburger. Oh, autocorrect. There we go. Yeah, VAR. There you go. VAR is autocorrect, isn't it? It's autocorrect football style. It is, isn't it? It is autocorrect. If you think about it, it puts in, it implements what it thinks it's right, but then half the time everybody's moaning about, oh, fuck's sake. You know what I mean? Like West Hamburger, you're trying to put West Ham, autocorrect puts in West Hamburger. You're like, oh, for fuck's sake, I only wanted it to be West Ham. VAR, all over. I might be talking shit here, but who knows? Weedy, could you smell Weedy yesterday? I could smell him from the main gate when he was in the Hazel. Luke County, make the Premier League for VAR. There's enough money kicking about there. Yeah, oh yeah, make them pay for VAR. Make the Premier League pay for VAR for the rest of the country. Yes, 100%. What's happening with the FA Cup? I hope that it's completely 100% VAR. Man City probably wouldn't have won that FA Cup if VAR was around, because they wouldn't have got the lucky calls that they got against Swansea. Swansea could have beaten them. Matthew Marsden, I went to the county shop in Newport the other day. The club got some good things there. Yeah, they have, mate, yeah. I mean, if you've got a bit of spare money and you want to get some Newport County merch, definitely look at the club shop. But then also look at our eBay page as well, mate. If you want something a little bit different, we got some good stuff on the eBay page. Or pop over to Bar Amber on match days and you'll find Luke, the same Luke is in here, Luke County. He's there selling merchandise, and between what the Amber Army do and what Luke does, it's all to give profit to the club and not to put any in our pockets. So at least you spend your money with us, it goes to the club. And then you spend your money in the club shop, it goes to the club. Fill your boots. Weedy Aid, thought on weed AIDS. Weirdo. Thoughts on the kid who laughed at Mickey's injury on Facebook. Well, I'm hoping that he accidentally put the laughing face, and me bringing it to his attention allowed him to change it. So that's all my thoughts on that one. And McNamara going to love playing West Ham, being Millwall. Absolutely. James Edwards, hope Mickey has a good recovery. Yeah, hope so too. I think we all hope that, don't we? Luke County, thanks for the shout out. No problem, mate. You're doing a good thing for the club, mate, so keep it going. Now, my question time. So I've got 6 questions for you guys. And we've already touched on a couple of subjects I'm going to raise on these questions, but let's kick off with them anyway. Number 1, Chelsea versus Leicester. Now, I'm sure most of you would have been watching that game. I just was. Was it more of a poor Chelsea performance or more of a good Leicester performance? So for me, it was a bit of both, but I'd like to see what you guys think about it. I thought Chelsea looked really good first half. Leicester looked reasonable first half. Second half, Chelsea looked poor, and Leicester looked exceptional. I thought Jamie Vardy was off the boil, though. It's not like him. It was all about Maddison, wasn't it, for Leicester? And Tielemans, Yuri Tielemans, or whatever you want to call him. I think he looked really good as well for Leicester, and so did that Chadri guy as well. So I think Leicester aren't even missing Harry Maguire at the moment. Don't think they even need to worry. They just got 85 million in their back pocket, and they're laughing at the moment. So I'd say it was more of a Chelsea poor performance because Leicester are capable of putting those performances out if the team they're playing against are poor. If they're playing against a team more of their stature, then they're capable of playing that way. But against a supposed top team like Chelsea, they should be doing better. Well, Chelsea should be doing better. Leicester shouldn't have found it was easy to play. Prediction for Liverpool versus Arsenal next weekend, big match. I'm going for Liverpool win, comfortable Liverpool win. I don't think Arsenal fix their defensive problems. Arsenal struggled to beat Newcastle and Burnley, who were two teams expected to be down at the bottom. Arsenal only won 1-0 at Newcastle, only won 2-1 against Burnley, got pegged back during that game, so Liverpool will put them to the sword, I think. Connor Simmons, I watch Leeds as well as County, and I think Ben White is going to be a future international player, absolutely. Learn your trade at the County, and that's what you get. Cracking from you, Luke, says Weedy. See, Weedy is a good guy. So Chelsea, they lost 4-0 to Man U. Just goes to show, doesn't it? Bit of both for me too. Sheffield United, massive win. Yeah, big one. Chelsea buggered without Hazard. Yeah, I think everybody needs a big player, don't they? Even we can beat Leicester. Yeah, good shape. Weedy, thoughts on Smithies getting the nod instead of day for Cardiff and Butler glued to the bench for Peterborough? It's a shame in it to lose two of our better players when they ain't playing for the teams that they've left us for. If Butler's on the bench at Peterborough, he's being overlooked drastically, and I think Smithies has always been a good goalkeeper. So it's always going to be a tall order. Sorry guys, it's always going to be a tall order for Dave to get in that Cardiff first team. Same could be said for Liverpool versus Southampton, bias from you, Taff. And what do you mean about that then? What's your predictions for Man U versus Wolves? I'm going for the draw in that one. Man U look a little bit better. Wolves will have a tougher defence to play against, and Man United will still have to deal with Wolves as well. Basically, that's what I mean. I mean, Man United will have to get past Wolves' defence. I think Man United are more capable of getting past Wolves' defence than what Wolves would be of getting past United's defence, but it just depends who turns up on the day. It's going to be at... Where is it being played? Is it at Old Trafford? Or no, it's going to be at Wolves. At Wolves, I'm going for the draw or Wolves win. What injuries Mickey got, we think, is a broken ankle. Anyone else yawn when Taff did? I'd imagine you've all been yawning well before I did. Tammy Crap, Batshuayi not even on the bench. Batshuayi should be playing. Giroud should always be playing. Tammy Abraham should be a third choice striker, pushing for a place by playing in cup games and lower league, not so much lower league, but lower profile matches. I think Lampard has got to adjust himself to a Chelsea way of thinking more than a Derby way of thinking. Weedy, and you said Arsenal only beat Burnley 2-1, but look, Liverpool versus Saints and Burnley battered Saints. Yeah, I can't say Liverpool were great against Southampton. Got to be fair, first half, Southampton were better than Liverpool, granted, but then Liverpool still went in 1-0 up, so that just goes to show the best teams can beat other teams when they're playing badly. Arsenal, more of, Arsenal just a bit more lacklustre, than what Liverpool, because Liverpool ended up absolutely destroying Southampton that second half and would have won 2-0 if not for a mistake from the keeper. But there we go. There's very slim fine margins in football. When we beat West Ham, I want to draw Cardiff or Swansea. I love that. When we beat West Ham, yeah, that's the way to think, mate. Score prediction for Newport, West Ham. Too tough to say at the moment. Let's give it another couple of games. Well, I know it's only bloody next week, but then let's see how we're looking on Saturday and see how West Ham are looking, and then we'll look at that. Then Nathan Jones out of his depth at Stoke. I would have to agree with you with that one. Is there money for progressing each round of the Carabao Cup? I believe there is, but not a lot. Has Liverpool lost the league by having their keeper out? Southampton are poor. I wouldn't say so, no. I mean, if Liverpool can play their attacking football, as well as they can do, then whoever's in goal shouldn't really matter, except for when they come up against the really big teams. But Alisson will be back in a few weeks anyway, so I'm sure it's not going to cost them. If he was out for the season, yes. County lost Flynn. What realistic manager would you want? Couldn't really think, to be honest with you, mate. We'd have to go into that and see who the candidates would be. We wouldn't be able to prize anybody from another club or anything like that. We can't be paying for managers. There's plenty of good managers out there. 2-0 County, calling it now. What, for West Ham? I hope so. I hope so. Weedy, thoughts on Phelpsy getting the place bouncing yesterday? Fair play, Phelps. He's always been an energetic young lad. I remember when he was a really shy little boy who was there in his Newport County jester hat and his purple jacket. And, he wouldn't say boo to a ghost, but he'd just stand there looking at us. And then when we started singing, he'd join in. And the confidence on the boy now is unbelievable. So fair play to Phelpsy. He's a good boy. Huddersfield next gaffer. Chris Hughton. I think. V9 Bucks is in. Amber Army came till I die. Well done, mate. James Edwards. We don't really miss Day. King is a good goalkeeper, and so is Townsend as well. After what he did against Gillingham, so we're sport for choice there, aren't we? I don't think Joe Day's Joe Day's absence is being missed at all at the moment. Weediade, even Stavros praised us. Bloody hell, yeah. That's a term for the books, isn't it? You must have got some last night. Anyway, so I still got 5 questions, so let me slam these at you guys, and then we'll go on to the trivia then. The second question I got, Palace report today, will they have a tough season? So I thought they were dreadful against a Sheffield United team who are expected to struggle this year. Sheffield United could have won that game by a lot more than just one. Were Palace poor? Is Zaha's head elsewhere? And will that affect them on the pitch? Maybe something that they're all aware of, that he's going to go in January, and he knows he's going to go in January, and he doesn't want to get a bad injury, because he didn't look the same player today. So what do you guys think? I'll wait. Did any of you even watch the Palace game? I'm sure some of you mentioned it earlier, didn't they? Palace at relegated with Newcastle and Sheffield United for me. So Palace will go down with Newcastle and Sheffield United. Don't know how Palace lost Sheffield United a tip to finish bottom. Just goes to show Bournemouth a tip to finish bottom in their first year, wouldn't they? And now look at them. They're being tipped as a regular top 10 finisher. West Page, do you think the club should get Mike Flynn to sign an extension on his contract just in case? So if he ever goes, we will get compensation. I think it's a good shape. I'd imagine that there's conversations that are going to be had between him and the board as we speak, pretty much, to be honest with you. Palace are okay at home. Yeah, generally tend to be, but I don't think they're overly solid at home though. Yes, Palace will struggle, but Newcastle are doomed. There's 3 from 7 that could easily go down. Yeah, and that's another part of the Premier League that's exciting, because there's always a surprise package that goes down. Well, usually at least anyway. I don't think there was much of a surprise with the teams that went down last year, really. But Newcastle, I mean, the 2 times they went down, no one expected them to. But this time, people expect them to. Villa also bought into many. Will they see Bournemouth as a poor result? I would. I would have wanted at least a point from that one. Right then, so we brought up possession earlier, didn't we? Possession and chances at goal. Plymouth, right? So I'm specifically bringing up our game with Plymouth yesterday. So Plymouth had 72% of the possession against us yesterday. But even though they had 72% of the possession, they lost the game, and they had lesser attempts. I believe it was something like 17 to 15 attempts in favour of Newport, even though Plymouth had 72% of the possession. So basically, the point is, well, the question I'm asking, based on that, is possession play a moot tactic now, or strategy, whatever you'd call it? Is possession play moot in football now? Is it all about attacking well with that possession, or is it about keeping the ball on one of those things where if the opponent hasn't got the ball, they can't score? Or is it more you've got to take it forward and go a bit more direct, be a bit more ballsy, gamble from time to time with it, and it may pay off. So what do you guys think? Is possession play moot in football now? I'd imagine there's plenty of you typing it because all your responses seem to come all at the same time. There we go. James Edwards makes a very good point there. Possession means nothing because you can have loads of it and still lose. Yep. Happens very often. Doesn't matter how much you have of the ball. If you don't do anything with it, it's pointless. Pointless having the ball if you can't do anything with it. It's what you do with the ball that counts. Possession when you're 4-0 up and you can weigh every pass. Yeah. Keep the ball when you're winning by a couple of goals. Don't think possession play is the way to go for attacking football. Colin Simmons, not always as Leeds last year, had more possession in all but one match last year, but didn't take enough chances. Best tactic is a fast build-up play and catching the opponent on the break. Absolutely. Luke Wilkins, all right, bro, good work. Thank you, Lukey, my old mate Luke there. There we go. Like me versus my mate versus FIFA. Yeah, I've had many of that on FIFA. God knows how much possession. But what I find frustrating with FIFA is when you have like 50 attempts at goal to somebody else's 2 and you lose 2-1. Pisses me off. I find possession is rubbish because if you pass the ball around and lose it and give away a goal, but then your opposition gives away a set piece and it's game over. Yeah, exactly. So next question then, guys. So we'll breeze through these because I know you guys will be itching to get onto the trivia, and I got some corkers. Let's see what Joseph's had to say first. Joseph Real. You can sit back and pass the ball around and have more possession whilst not making any worthwhile play, whereas you can win a game with less possession on the counter-attack. Exactly. So I think we've determined that possession play is moot in football these days. So, question 4. So we've got Ligue 1 and the Bundesliga. Does anyone other than PSG and Bayern Munich have a chance of winning those leagues this year? Personally, I think if anyone's going to do it in Germany, it could be Dortmund, maybe Leipzig, Red Bull Leipzig, but we wouldn't want them to win it. We don't want a Red Bull team to do well anyway. I think in France, Lyon look quite tidy now, but I don't think there's anyone else in France at the moment who's going to even come close. So I think Paris Saint-Germain have monopolised the French league for the next God knows how many years. Bayern Munich, I think Dortmund could potentially beat Bayern Munich this time because I think Bayern Munich are very much got an ageing team and need to heavily invest because I don't think they can do anything in the Champions League. James Edwards makes a good point. Lille would have had a chance if they hadn't lost Pepe, but when you get a big player like that, really good player like that, getting sniffed at by top European teams, they're going to go, won't they? League no, but in Germany I think it's Dortmund's this year. So there we go, Dortmund to take the Bundesliga. We'll come back and revisit that one later on in the season and see where we are with that one. PSG should win, but Dortmund could catch Bayern. I wish Coutinho went to Dortmund, could have made it more close. Good shape. German league is good and great fans. French league is terrible, like a posh SPL. Say it how you see it, Luke. Really good, really good response that one. Yeah, I feel the same with the French league. I think it's a shit league. Right then, so Temu Pukki at Norwich scored a hat-trick yesterday. He's now scored 4 goals in 2 games during his first Premier League season. Does he realistically have a chance of finishing top scorer in the Premier League this year if he can continue scoring goals the way he has been? I personally think he's got a shot. I mean, no one expected Jamie Vardy to have the season that he had. I'm not saying Norwich are going to win the league or anything like that, but when Leicester did win the league, Jamie Vardy became a record-breaking player for consecutive games of scoring a Premier League goal. Pipped Ruud van Nistelrooy's 10 with 11, ironically against Manchester United, of course. So could Pookie be could Pookie be in with a shot of realistically winning the Premier League top scorer this year? So he's given too much space by Newcastle. Um, good shape, yeah. And Newcastle got a poor defence at the moment. Norwich play well attacking wise. I think he can get 12 plus for sure. So yeah, so you're basically saying he'll have a great season, but he's not really. Starting to think we should have kept Pookie at Celtic by the way he's playing. Well, maybe if Celtic were in a more of a competitive league, he would have, you'd have players up in their game a little bit more. I think at Norwich, they just got a way of playing where they need to play that way to be competitive. And Pookie's obviously thriving off the service he's getting. I don't think he may not have been getting that at Celtic. How is the guy who always says the C word laid on the pitch? Oh, that's Richie Serrano. He's a volunteer. He's a volunteer. Him and his dad Tony. They volunteer by doing the mats, the Sky Bet mats. Luke Canty, Pookie, great player, and on a free, wasn't he? We'll get 15 plus. Yeah. Not close to Aubameyang, obviously, in my opinion, says James Edwards. Fair shade, fair shade. You've got your obvious front runners for top scorer, like, your Kanes and Salahs of the world. Aubameyang's going to have a good season again, I think. But then Pookie, he's already got 4 in 2. If Norwich are going to have a decent season, which people are tipping them to do, surely he's going to get the majority of their goals, I think. Matthew Madison, I think he'll get around 10 to 15 goals, but Aubameyang will get close to 30. Fair shape. No reason why he can't get top scorer. No reason at all, no. I mean, if Norwich have a successful season, he's the kind of striker that's going to score a lot of goals for them. He's getting the right service, they're playing the right kind of football, why not? Oh, Christopher Borders in. Hello all, I miss hanging out here. Yeah, we missed you as well, mate. Didn't even notice you were gone. Right, my final question then, before we move on to the trivia. Do Bury deserve to be in the position that they're currently in, considering how much they paid for players last season? Now, I don't know how many of you listened to TalkSport early in the morning, but I actually spoke with Alan Brazil and Ali McCoist on there the other morning, because they were talking about Bury saying that they need one of the bigger Premier League clubs near to them, like Man City or Man United, to bail them out. And it pissed me off a bit, because I'm thinking, well, no, look at how much money they paid Danny Mayer and Nicky Maynard last season, and God knows who else they had, on high wages there. They're in their position because they forced themselves into that position, overspending on players and getting themselves promoted from League Two, and they're in the position that they are now because they overspent. As simple as that. I'm not saying I want them to go out of business. I want them to be rescued, of course. But if they get a bailout, by another club, that's just going to basically mean that anyone can just say, tell you what, let's overspend on our playing budget. Because, like Bury, one of the bigger clubs are going to bail us out. If we go under, we'll win our promotion, we'll get bailed out, and then we'll maintain ourselves in the next division up. It sends the wrong message if that does happen. So what do you guys think? No, I respect Bury and Bolton. Yeah, I respect them both because they're both, I respect the fans and the history of their clubs. I don't respect the fact that Bury in particular forced a promotion by overspending on players. Simple as that. They overspent on players. I know they've lost all them players now, but they still overspent last season, run up a debt, and now they're fooked, basically. And it's their own fault. So they shouldn't get a bailout. So I basically made those points on TalkSport the other morning, and fair play, Alan Brazil and Ali McCoist, they both completely agreed and said it was a good call. So what do you reckon then? Matthew Miles, do you know what date you were on there with the new app? You could listen to shows from days gone by. It was Friday morning. Why can't Bury field out youngsters like Bolton? I don't know what it is with Bury. I don't know what's stopping them, but I just don't think they've got the youngsters there. I just don't think they've even got a team. Luke County, Bury can rot. If you bail one club out, You have to bail every club overspending as they know they will get out of jail free card. Enjoy the climb back up the Football League pyramid, Bury. Oh, very harsh, but very true though. Sometimes the truth hurts. That could have hurt a Bury fan if they were reading that, but it's true. Unfortunately for them, it's absolutely true. Thoughts on Charlie Cooper being at Bury right now? If Charlie Cooper's at Bury right now, I feel for them a little bit, but I feel for Charlie Cooper more because he's not going to be getting paid while he's there. I feel for the, if anyone heard it, and that is on TalkSport's Twitter, there's a video of one of their players having to go at their chairman for not paying them, basically both calling each other liars. I mean, if they can't even straighten themselves out and talk well together, talk with a bit of respect for each other, they got no hope, have they? So, I'm just going to stretch my back a little, guys, and we're going to kick into the trivia. Who's ready for some trivia? Trivia time. 4 questions as always. Some add-ons as well. So where are we? Luke, we didn't have much sympathy and many other clubs going bust. AFC Wimbledon done it. There we go. Wimbledon got bummed, we got bummed, Chester got bummed, Accrington got bummed, Aldershot. There's a lot of clubs out there that have had to start from scratch because they lost their club. We're one of them. Thankfully, I'm not old enough to remember that. But Weedy, if you want to look for that video, sorry guys, it's the one that I was going on about Steve Dale talking. I can't remember the bloody name of the player now. But it's on TalkSport Twitter. If you look for it, scroll down and look for Friday's tweets, they actually got a video of it. But yeah, a lot of clubs have gone out of business. They've been allowed to go out of business by the people around them, and now, I mean, if people are running up bills or they can't pay, just to get themselves up into another league, they got themselves to blame. Simple. Ruud Hullet getting in early. Where is Nick Muller anyway? Nick Muller's not in tonight. That's a shame. I think it's the first one he's missed for a while now. Anyway, trivia time, guys. Here we go. First question on the trivia is: Nicky Butt played for 3 English clubs during his career. He actually played for 4, but we'll come on to the 4th one, which I don't think any of you are going to get, which is why I adjusted the question a little bit. So Nicky Butt played for 3 English clubs. Name them. But if you know the non-English club that he played for, then you deserve a bloody medal. If you don't use Google, of course. If you don't go onto his Wikipedia page. So, who are the 3 English clubs he played for? So, Newcastle and Man United are correct, Luke. Always rely on Luke to get in with the answers there. So, Newcastle and Man United are correct. Colin Simmons also knew there was Newcastle and Man U, but who's the 3rd British one? I expected the Man U and Newcastle. I expected you to get that. But who's the 3rd British or English club that he played for? So James Edwards says Man U, you are correct, but Luke and Colin got in before you, my friend. So we've already established 2 of the 3. Who is the 3rd? They are an English club, because I said English club. So does anybody know who the 3rd one is? If we don't get an answer within the next 10 seconds, I'm going to give you a clue. So once it goes to 48 minutes and 20 seconds, Bolton is incorrect, but that's not a bad shade. Right then, so I don't mean geographically, but maybe alphabetically, but this is a Midlands club. What's the question, Ashley and Graham? Nicky Butt played for 3 English clubs during his career. Name them. But he actually played for 4 in total, and if you get the 4th one, then you deserve a medal, if you do it without Google, of course. So, Colin Simmons has got it. It's it's Birmingham. That's why I said when you said Bolton, you're on the right track alphabetically, but not geographically. The team was obviously a Midlands club, and it was Birmingham City. But he did end his career outside of England. Does anybody know which team he played for outside of England? I don't think any of you are going to even get close to this. I didn't know this when I did my research and got the question up. I looked at it and I thought, well, I'm not going to include that in the main question, but just in case one of you know it, sorry guys, just in case one of you know it, that I put it up. So Australia asks Luke. No, it wasn't in Australia, but not too far away from Australia. I'll be honest with you, it was an Asian club. But I can even tell you what country it's in. I don't think you're going to get it. So, yeah, Paul Young, you're correct. It was in China, but which Chinese club did he play for? I don't think any of you are going to even come close to getting this. So I think before someone Googles it, I think I'll tell you. The fourth club he actually played for before he retired was South, what they were called South China. South China. Yeah. Well, there you go. Liam Graham came in myself, says South China team. Yeah, it was in fact South China. So there we go. We're on to the second question. Now, now I'm going to bring on the add-on. But name the first Swedish player to win the EPL, well, the English Premier League. The spelling would have been funny, Taff, autocorrect. What, South China? Feel free to tell me what the spelling could have been. Sorry, I'm miles away on that one. So the first Swedish player to win the English Premier League. Liam Graham says Ibra, so obviously being Ibrahimovic. That's incorrect. It was quite a fair bit before Ibrahimovic's time, actually. That's a bit of a clue, sorry. But, well, Ibrahimovic's time in the Premier League, of course. No, he didn't win the Premier League because he had one season with Man United during a period of where they've been shit. So, no, it wasn't Ibrahimovic. So, Greg Halpin. Oh, bloody hell, Greg, how's it going, mate? Ain't seen you in a while. How's it going, mate? Luke Canty guessing Chinese team. Oh, yeah, of course. You guess Chinese team and you could guess some really funny. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Henrik Larsson. Again, he was on loan at Man United. Didn't win. I don't think he won the Premier League with Man United, though, did he? Freddie Ljungberg. That's a good shout. Very close. Very, very close. But it's not Freddie Ljungberg. So no, it wasn't Henrik Larsson. It was before Henrik Larsson's time. But I think this guy winning the Premier League, though, is very much a case of, just goes to show any donkey can be part of a squad that wins the Premier League, which is why you should never base an individual ability of a player based on the trophies they've won. It should be on their actual ability and not the amount of medals they've got. Greg, I've been tuning in usually about 20 minutes after you finished. Do you still think we're on 8 o'clock? It's been a while since we've been 8 o'clock, just in case. So Ljungberg, it was a little bit before Ljungberg, a little bit before. So who's going to Google it and find out? The first Swedish player to win the Premier League. It was for the club he was playing for, it was a massive season for them as well. Because that's going to be the next one of what year it was in. Brolin, what a crock of shit he was when he came to the Premier League. He was this awesome player, awesome player in the Euro 92, and then he was awful when he came. He played for Leeds and he played for Crystal Palace and didn't make it either. Liam Graham, there we go. He's got the correct answer. It is Jesper Blomqvist. Jesper Blomqvist won the Premier League and Steven Gerrard didn't, which is why you should never base an individual's ability on the amount of trophies that he's won. But yeah, and yes, Luke, you're right. Big season because it was the Manchester United treble. Who remembers what year that was in though? What year was it? Who can get that? Who knows the year? Come on, someone's better to know. Here we go, Luke. No count on you. 1999. Or if you want to be more precise, Liam Graham is saying 1998, 1999. No, he said 98, 98. I know what you mean though. Yeah, it was the 98, 99 season, the Manchester United treble winning season. Right then. Okay. Now this is going to be a big question. This is a who am I, so you can't really Google it at the moment. But here we go. So this is a who am I. I started my career in London. I won 5 English Premier Leagues, 2 FA Cups and 1 European Champions League. I won 15 England caps and finished my career at my hometown club. Who am I? Rude Hullet. Love it. It's a shame Nick's not here to see that. It's bloody awesome. That was a really funny moment on you. I got to be fair. Teddy Sheringham. That's a good shape, but it's not right. It's not correct. I don't think he won that many Premier Leagues, though, did he? I think he won 2 or 3 with United, didn't he? Lee Dixon, easy. Nope. Tony Adams, nope. Was none of them. You won 5 Premier Leagues, 2 FA Cups, and 1 Champions League. 15 England caps. So only 15 England caps. So Fat Frank is incorrect. I suppose you mean Frank Lampard. That would have been a shout, but well, I suppose you could say he did start his career in London, and I suppose he did finish his career. No, he didn't finish his career at his hometown team, did he? I think he finished his career with New York City. Frank Lampard. Joe Cole is incorrect. There we go. Andy Cole is correct. Liam Graham, Andy Cole. There we go. Andy Cole. So, the add-on question. So I think Colin and Luke, I think you got a real challenger on your hands here with Liam Graham around. That's 2 correct answers he's got now tonight. So yeah, he did play for Bristol City, but he started his career in London. Who did he play for in London to start his career off? Who did he start his career with? And I don't think any of you are going to get this. Andy Cole is from Bristol. He's actually not from Bristol. Nope, he's not from Bristol. He played for Bristol City. He was on loan to Bristol City and then signed for them on a permanent before he eventually got his move to Newcastle. But who did he start his career with? And say he started his career in London. James Edwards says Spurs, not correct, but you're not far away from that. You're not far away. London FC, yeah, as if. Imagine if there was just one London team, they all just became London United, every single London club. Grant Thorogood, oh, he's still here, Grant. I haven't seen you comment for a while. Is correct, yes. Andy Cole started his career with Arsenal. Didn't quite make it there. Didn't quite make it at Arsenal. But who else did he play for? Can you think? So he started his career with Arsenal. He ended his career at his hometown club, who we're going to come to later on. But he also played for 10 other clubs. A long old career, but he played for 10 other clubs. It looks like he only ever played in England. So what other clubs did he play for? So obviously we've got Arsenal. We're not going to count his hometown club. We're going to come to that at the end. But in between Arsenal and his hometown club, he played for 10 other clubs. Now, we've already established that he played for Bristol City, and someone said Fulham, so that was correct. We already know that he was at Man U. So Colin Simmons obviously saying Newcastle there. Newcastle top scorer with 38 or 40 goals. He scored a lot of goals for Newcastle, which is what earned him that big money move to Man U. But as I say, we've got 4 of those 10 teams. So Blackburn will make it 5, yes. So Liam and Grant are in there with Blackburn. Charlton is incorrect. He didn't play for Charlton. There's still 5 other teams that he played for. He didn't play for Chelsea. So we've had Blackburn already. So 5 other clubs that he played for. To be honest with you, I don't think you guys are going to get them. So I think I'm going to read them out from the list I got. But we got to remember who his hometown club is. So Man City is correct. So we've got one of them. He definitely played for Man City. Played for Portsmouth as well. Liam Graham, you're kicking ass tonight. Fair play to you, mate. 3 other clubs. Can't think of any more. Middlesbrough, no. Did play for another club up that way though. So I'm just going to tell you guys, because I want to get on to the last question, but I want to get on to his hometown club. So the other 3 clubs, so the other clubs he played for was Birmingham, Sunderland and Burnley. So the other clubs he played for was Birmingham, Sunderland and Burnley. And then he played for his hometown club. Who is his hometown club? Technically, there could be 2 clubs who were his hometown club. He played for one of them, and they've always been the more high profile of them 2 clubs. Stadiums are very close together as well. And no, it's not in Liverpool, so it's not Liverpool or Everton. Oh God, backs in half, guys. Ugh. So who was his hometown club? Stoke, incorrect. But a good shape though. A good shape, you know, a two club city. Who's going to get this one before we move on to the final question? Who's going to get it? Luke Hainty. You got the right city. Which is the club? Which is the club? Andy Cole is originally from Nottingham. And so Nottingham Forest, there you go. Luke, back in the game with it. Well done, mate. Well done. And we're on to our final question then, guys. The final question of the stream. Here we go. Which country was the first to reach a World Cup semi-final outside of Europe and South America? Which country was the first country to reach a World Cup semi-final from outside of Europe or South America? And then when you get them, what year was it in? So what do you guys think? Who was the first non-European or South American team to make it to a World Cup semi-final? Iran? Don't think so, Samay. Nigeria 94? No, they didn't make a semi-final. They made it to the quarter-final, I believe. Grant Thorogood, North Korea is incorrect. Japan is incorrect, although you guys are pushing down the right part of the world though now. South Korea, correct. And Luke has got the year as well. So Colin Simmons beat you to it with the correct answer, but Luke has got the correct year. It was South Korea, and it was 2002. Now that could have thrown a few people because a lot of people would have assumed it was Ghana in 2010, but no. South Korea made it in 2002. They beat Italy with a golden goal in the quarter final. It was An Hyung Hwang who scored that goal, and then he was actually playing for an Italian club team at the time and got sacked by them. So An Hyung Hwang scored that goal. But which Italian team is it? Here's a little one for you then, guys. Which Italian team was that? Can anyone remember the Italian team that An Hyung Hwang was playing for and got sacked by for scoring that winning goal? Can anyone think who the team was? Who is the club team? And then that's time on the stream then. Parma's incorrect. Napoli's incorrect, although Parma was a step in the right direction. So everyone's just naming Italian teams now. In fair play, you've all named a different one each, but you've all got it wrong. So it's not Parma, it's not Napoli, it's not Sampdoria, it's not Inter, it's not Lazio, it's not Roma, it's not Juventus. It is none of the above, guys. Fiorentina is not correct. This is a toughie, mine. This is a toughie. So put you out your misery, or you're all going to Google it now. Mayorga. Well done, Colin. No, it's not Mayorga, obviously. It's Spanish. But so who knows which Italian team sacked An Hyung Hwang for scoring the winning goal against Italy in the World Cup in 2002 in the quarter-final? Udinese is incorrect. So they're not a high-profile Italian team, but they were decent around about then. They were decent. They were by no stretch a contender, but they were decent at the time. AC Milan is incorrect. You're thinking of Torino, aren't you, Grant? But that's still incorrect. Bologna, incorrect. Someone's going to get this. Palermo, no. Torino, no. There we go. Yeah. I knew you meant, mate. I knew you meant. So, is anyone going to get this one? Parma, no. I'll give you a clue. It does begin with a P, but it's not Parma. And it's not Palermo. Come on, someone's got to get it. They play in red and white as well. Piacenza, no. Incorrect. Come on. If anyone's going to get it, my money's on Luke. My money's on Luke to get it. If anyone's going to get it. Although, Liam's been on form tonight. He could nip in with the correct answer if he can think of it. But Colin's always strong on the questions as well. So I wouldn't put it past Colin being the one to jump out with the correct answer. So I think this is a Google job. Joseph Friel Cagliari. No. Incorrect. It's not P or something either. No. It begins with a P, but the second letter is an E. And then the third letter is an R. The club's chairman actually expressed it as he's being sacked for his disgraceful behaviour. Disgraceful behaviour. Scoring the winning goal for your country in a World Cup quarter-final is not what I would class as disgraceful behaviour. That would get you the sack. So, Pompelli, no. Palermo, no. Alright, someone hurry up and Google it so I can get to bed tonight. Or I'm just going to tell you myself, if you don't get it now by the time it clicks to 106 minutes, I'm going to tell you. We've got 15 seconds left, guys, to come up with the answer before I tell you. And I don't think it's very often I do it. There we go, Joseph's got it. Thank God for that. Perugia, yes, it was Perugia. The chairman of Perugia sacked An Hyung-hwan for scoring the winning goal against Italy in the World Cup quarter-final in 2002, calling it disgraceful behaviour. Brilliant. Well done, Joseph. I wouldn't have had you down as being the one to come forward with that answer, but fair play to you. You're now going to be a trivia contender in my eyes in the future. So, Luke, I bet all of you are kicking yourselves now. Why didn't I think of Perugia? Why didn't I think of them? For God's sake. Anyway, it's been a fantastic stream tonight, guys. Thanks all for your participation in it. Thank you for all your questions. You definitely kept me on my toes tonight. And I hope you guys enjoyed everything that I brought to the table to it tonight. So thank you all. Oh, there we go. Grant with the excuses because I can't spell it. Well, you try spelling Torino, so you should have just put, bloody Perpignan or something like that, and just say, like you did with Toronto, Torino. Don't matter though. Anyway, I will see you guys again same time next week. Although coming up soon, I will be having a Sunday off for when I get married. So I get married on the Saturday. I will be having the following Sunday off. Before I go, what's the news on Mickey? The rumours are that he's having surgery today and that 10 weeks minimum is when he'll be 8 for. So, Liam Graham, can I come to your wedding? No. Football over the missus, mate. Sod the missus. No, I can't be doing that. That's my wedding day, mate, Liam, we got no space at the wedding now, mate. We got too many, friends and family and stuff, so it ain't happening. So, yeah. Cheers, guys. Good night, all. And we'll see you again next week. Cheerio for now, and as always, up the county. Thank you all.